Whew, clear the room.
Whoa, fart sounds for everybody. I got this like zoomed way in. That's why. I was wondering why the camera was all weird. I was trying to fix it before we got started. What's up, everybody? It's Friday. How you doing? We're going to get to our special guest here in just a second, who is becoming our normal guest, but you guys probably know who she is, so it doesn't matter. You know what's going on. But it's Friday. I want to say what's up to everybody out there before we get going here to talk about fish and plants and nonsense like we do on this channel, because that's one of the things that we do on this channel. Sometimes we talk about, I don't know, other things, too. Because that's just life. Because life is fluid, like the fluid in your aquarium. Or your gender. Or whatever. You know, whatever's fluid. Whatever you got, whatever fluid you got going, go with it. And, yeah. Okay. Since this is the beginning of the show, we shall talk about the Patreon. We are going to go to the Patreon questions, concerns, comments, complaints, posts in just a second. What is the Patreon? Is a third-party website. It doesn't have anything to do with YouTube. It doesn't have anything to do with Facebook. It doesn't have anything to do with anything except itself. And the whole reason for it is to help crowdsource and fund being able to have people like myself and Alyssa show up and be able to do a show and talk about stuff that we like to talk about, along with going out into the field and filming things and pointing our cameras at stuff and actually, trying to build more projects, build more community, answer questions about things that we've done, which we will be doing today. If people are interested about planaria, because that's something we're going to talk about, because Preston brought it up and we're going to talk about it. So it's going to happen. Who's Preston? That's the guy where I got my puffers from. You'll see a post from him in the Patreon today. Boom. I don't know. What did I talk about that? That's kind of the beginning. Then we also need to talk about Aquarium Co-op, who is our affiliate sponsor. So if you guys click on the affiliate links, that takes you to Aquarium Co-op, and you want to buy high-quality stuff with awesome customer service in America. If you're in another country, I don't know what to do. I don't know what you should do. But if you're in America, that's where you should go. That's what you should do. Boom, boom, boom. Yada, yada, yada. They're an affiliate sponsor, so if you buy something through the link, then the sponsorship kicks in. We get a percentage. We get a cut. Same thing with the Amazon links. If you see Amazon links in the chat or down below or any of that stuff, same kind of deal. If you guys if you happen to buy stuff, we get a kickback. We ain't got no dollars out of pockets around here. We ain't got nobody throwing any $100 bills at us, except for people on the Patreon who are constantly showering us with $100 million bills. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. We out there. There we go. Okay, so that's all done. And then what's the other thing? Memberships on YouTube. There's a lot of people that don't want to leave the website. They don't want to give out their information. And they've already put their credit card in here because they super chatted somebody at some point in time. Well, if you know what a super chat is, membership is like that, except you get a little more perk. You get a little more perk action. You know? And it's like a monthly thing. And you could just monthly be charged by YouTube if that's a thing that you like. It helps give us some props. If we get to enough members, it will essentially trigger something within the YouTube algorithm brain learning robot machine that it is, and it will be like, hey, we got to give props to this channel over here and maybe give them some promotion, because I don't pay out of pocket for promotion. I can't afford it. We got to keep the lights on. We got to keep the heat running. We got to feed. Hold on, where's my arrow? Because my arrow's free. I got to feed that little baby over there. I got responsibilities, so I don't pay for advertising. So if we end up with enough members, that would do it for us. What are the perks of becoming a member? You get a green name in the chat, which lets me know who you are. You get to see some live streams and things like that are members only. You get to, and there will be some more videos that are members only, Patreon only is where you're going to get that. But one of the cool things about becoming a member and becoming a Patreon is that you can join up on our Discord chat, which is 24/7, all that kind of stuff. We have a bunch of channels over there and a bunch of cool people chatting it up, talking about stuff that's going on, sharing projects back and forth. It's really a thing that just kind of exists all the time. You could post something up in there and be like, hey, I got a question about a thing, and then walk away. And then come back like a half an hour later and, oh, like 5 people answered my question about my thing. Hey, It's like a forum, only it's alive, and you could actually, post things on it. Unlike forums these days, because forums are broken, right? Most of the forums are broken. Anyway, all right, there we go. We got all that crap out of the way, and we're done with that portion of the show. Oh, my God. I'm winded. I feel like I worked out because threw out my back this morning. I don't know. I don't know if I threw out my back, but I really tweaked something in it again, and I don't feel great about it. I took some leave. And now I don't feel so bad about it, but I feel like we just worked out really hard and talked about crowdfunding and nonsense, which I don't really like to talk about it, but I have to because it's my show. And if I don't tell you guys about it, we'll never know. And then you'll be like, well, no one ever told me when I leave the internet. They would have been like, no one ever told me he was going to leave the internet. And then I'm be like, oh, I guess you're right. Maybe I didn't. But let's welcome Alyssa Bentley to the show. What is up?
Hi.
Alyssa Benuzuz, what are you doing? What's going on over there? What's happening?
Well, I don't know. It seems to be a lovely 5 degrees outside. That's Fahrenheit, not Celsius. We're not dying. Don't worry. People not here.
Are you going with the Fahrenhoozels?
Yeah, going with the Fahrenhoozels. Going with the imperial measurements.
It's way more accurate. It's way more accurate than being like, it's 22.7 out.
I don't know. I feel like if you're going to go with decimals and stuff, it does become just as accurate, but...
No, get out of here, decimals.
We only want whole numbers here.
We only want them whole numbers. Yeah. Appreciate it. Oh, excuse me. I'm dying. I'm like allergic to something right now. I've been coughing and sneezing. It's bizarre. I don't know. I'm falling apart, guys. I'm getting old. I'm falling apart. But
maybe you, not me.
So what's new? How was your week? Was it good?
I had a decent week. I did have some aquarium snafus this week, which makes me a little upset.
Situation normal, all foozled up?
Pretty much.
Fazzazzled?
Yeah.
Is that what the F stands for? You just...
Yeah.
You come on here and just start cussing in acronyms. Is that an acronym? Is that right?
I think you're just acronym.
What's an acronym?
That's...
I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, look that up because I don't remember specifically what that means, and I don't want to go spouting off a bunch of nonsense. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, no. This weekend though, I had a pretty good time. There was
No, it's an acronym. Okay, I'm just can't speak correctly. Got it.
Yeah, there's like a space.
I'm just dumb. That's the answer. All right, I like it. Anyhow, so
this weekend there was the North Sound Aquarium Society, I think is what they're called.
North Sound.
Yeah, they're like a newer fish club, and they were putting on like a swap meet up there, and so I drove myself up there, which was cool, and picked up some plants from Bentley and some food from Cascadia Aquatics, and
what food did you get?
I got this little like shrimp paste stuff. It's supposed to feed your shrimp.
Is it like Yummy Gum?
I don't know the answer to that because I've never used Yummy Gum, but it seems to be a paste inside the container. And so I just kind of like dug a little bit out with a knife and just kind of plopped it into the tank. And I don't know if they really liked it that much. I've also been playing around with Bacter AE recently, which has helped, I think, anyways. Like I started using it, and then like a couple weeks later, I had like 8 buried up Bloody Mary shrimps, and suddenly my 2 of my crystal shrimp had eggs too, which is crazy because they don't breed for me, and so I was getting pretty excited about that.
Getting zazzed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I noticed that one of my Bloody Mary shrimp had like white stuff coming out It's
Mhm.
rostrum. And I was like, oh no, is that thing that you have to take care of? Like that. And so I went on to the shrimp forum people and talked to them. And I was like, hey, is this that thing? Do I have to call this shrimp? And somebody uh, posted back really quick. He's like, don't worry about it. You just put like some, what is it, like a tablespoon of salt or a teaspoon of salt in a cup of water and like, or a cup of tank water and dissolve it in there and then put the shrimp in there for like 30 seconds. It'll pop right off and it'll be fine. I was like, cool. And so then I did that, posted an update, and I was like, yeah, he's totally fine now. Thanks, man. And he's like, cool. But wait, is that a planaria? And I said, yeah, I got some planaria, whatevs. And he's like, dude, those are going to murder all your shrimp. I'm like, I've got like 300 shrimp. Are you sure, man?
Yeah. Are you sure? Are you surely sure?
He's like, yeah, they're going to murder all of your shrimp. Those things, they kill shrimp all the time. That's you got to get rid of those planaria, like right now.
Mm-hmm.
And foolish me, I was like, oh man, I do have a lot of planaria in this tank and my crystal shrimp tank. 2 different tanks, different water parameters. Y'all know that, right? We won't go into it right now.
Y'all know that, right?
Yeah. and so I was like, what do I do? And he goes, you got to use this no planaria stuff. It's the best. It'll take care of them. It's totally fish safe. Might not be great for your snails, but and I was like, well, okay, I can scoop out snails before I put in the no planaria. That's fine, right? Yeah, so I ordered it up, Prime Now, showed up the next day. Reading the instructions, they're a little unclear.
Oh, yeah?
Because it's not by weight. It's by scoop.
Oh, you got just a scoop?
Yep.
And it's by liters probably, right?
There's a scoop, and it is by liters. So I'm sitting there doing...
Do we have liter of cola?
Right.
Do
So
we
I'm
have
doing math, and I'm like, shoot. And I'm like looking at the people and what they're saying online about it. They're like, the hard part about it is estimating exactly how much water is in your tank because of all the stuff that's in your tank doing water displacement. And, and I know from measurement that my tank at the most can hold about like 18.3 gallons from the inside measurements, because I did do that measurement. But I also know that I leave an inch at the top, because I don't know, I just do. And also I know that the tank is like, I don't know, 90% filled up with plants. And then there's like an inch and a half of gravel. And then there's all the fish. And I'm not going to drain the tank in order to try to determine how much water there is and then put all the water back in, because that seems crazy. So I just estimated down. I was like, okay, we'll estimate 15 gallons.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And then I measured it out, and then I realized that there's 2 ways that the scoop could hold stuff. It could either be loosely packed, or it could be tightly packed. Like when you're baking, and the stupid recipe either calls for
a level scoop or
a level
packed
scoop or a packed scoop of flour.
Flour.
Right. It
Flour.
does like a completely
You crazy kids and your flour.
Oh man.
sorry.
And so I tried it first with a loose measurement, because I thought that's safer. And nothing happened. Nothing happened. And I was like, all right. And it said we should keep doing it for 72 hours. So then I did the next one. I did like a packed measurement. And then the next day I woke up and like all the planaria were just like on the water surface at the tank edge. So and all the shrimp were hanging out on top of the plants, like at the top of the water. And I was like, okay, well, that's clearly a oxygen issue. And at this point I had only done the cherries. I had not done the crystals. There were no shrimp deaths. There were no. The planaria were alive. They were just unhappy. And there were no snail deaths, although I did have a bucket that I was continuously pulling snails out and putting it into. So I lowered the water level by another inch, and then I took like a paper towel and just kind of wiped the disgusting planaria off the top of the tank and threw it away. And refilled with fresh water, just in case. The shrimp did not go throughout the tank. Went to work, came home, and there were 3 dead shrimp. Just 3. Now, bear in mind, I do have probably 300 in there. So that's, 1%. Not super bad. I got them out. And then I went and did something else. And then my boyfriend, Justin, who loves to look and try to check in on he's so worried about my fish and shrimp and whatever. And he's like, hey, there's more dead shrimp. I was like, hey, like how many more? He's like, I don't know. I didn't look that hard. And I was like, okay, but is it like a lot? Like, is it shrimp apocalypse? I get home and it's like 2 more. Okay. I get those out. And at this point I'm like, okay, I'm going to add an air stone. So I did that, and then later did like a 50% water change to try to get some of the crap out. Meanwhile, I had started doing it in the crystal shrimp tank. And the same thing was happening. The planaria were coming up to the surface of the water. And all my crystal shrimp were not visible. Now, remember, I was so happy I had buried shrimp. Finally.
Yeah.
Um,
Finally got them buried shrimp.
Yeah.
Now you got some dead shrimp.
Maybe they're just hiding. It is very well planted as well, and there weren't that many, but they were happily picking around and all the stuff and letting me see where they were before, and now they're not. I was kind of like super dejected, and then I saw one just kind of trundling around, and I was like, okay, not all is lost. I added an air stone in there as well. And then the next day I looked, and my only Cheese Creek ancestress pleco, who has just started to get bristles, was dead. It was just freaking dead. It was doing well.
Same tank
With the crystals, and it was dead. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if some planaria died and he was like, ooh, snacks, I'm gonna eat those, and they're like full of poison and he ate them and then he died, or what. But anyways, so I didn't have a great time with that. That was not my favorite thing to happen this week.
That's a drag.
Yeah,
that sucks.
right now I've got visible
I've
confirmation on 4 of my crystal shrimps, and that's it, and none of them are the females.
I've been around no planaria a few times, but I've never like and I've never like actively used it a bunch or anything like that. Like I've used it minorly, and then what I normally use is just the fenbendazole, which is the dog dewormer, which is a big pain in the butt for anybody internationally to get your hands on, as far as I know. I because I get this question all the time from not all the time. Well, check me out. I'm getting the same question constantly, guys. Always, constantly, like 200 emails a day, guys. Oh, it's nonstop. But I get this question often enough that I would want to address it, that people ask me, like, what to do? I'm in Canada. What to do? I'm in the UK. Very difficult for me to, like, give advice because I don't have any experience up there trying to order and deal with stuff. So bear in mind that a lot of my advice goes to the American market because that's where I'm at. It's where I deal with on a regular basis. But I did order some dog dewormer the other day, and I gave Alyssa the link. I don't know if she's going to post it in the chat or not.
I might. Are you going to be nice?
Coffee.
No, just kidding.
I am being nice. This is me being nice. Damn it. I have resting fish face, guys. It's not my fault. But anyhow, I have used that on numerous occasions and had relatively no ill side effects. I have had some problems with some snails, but it's also at the same time, it's difficult to really be like, oh, 2 of these snails out of the 1,000 are dead right now.
Mm-hmm.
Must have been the treatment. It's very difficult to like, put my finger on exactly what had happened. The links are right there in the chat for the dog dewormer I normally get, which is the main active ingredient is fenbendazole. So none of this stuff is perfect. You also need to get a scale so you can weigh it out because it's a gram per 100 gallons. So you are going to need some small measuring action to figure out exactly if you have smaller tanks. Now, for me, these days I have much bigger tanks. I don't have to get into the super, split this up like I'm some kind of drug dealer, cutting out fenbendazole and putting it into tanks to get rid of planaria. But one of the things that kind of brought this to a lot of people's attention this week, the planaria issue, is Chris Lucup posted onto Facebook a picture of a planaria that was eating onto a shrimp.
Yeah.
And I would always remind people that there are thousands of types of planaria. Okay. I wouldn't even say that all of them are identified. I typically, if I see a hydra or two, not worried about it. If I see the little wormy ones that are just kind of the plain little worm buggers, I'm not worried about it. I'm really not. If I see detritus worms that might be a type of planaria, I'm not worried about it. The planaria that I'm concerned about is in that Chris Lucup picture. It's like a longer little worm.
Mm-hmm.
It's like maybe an inch long, maybe an inch and a half. I don't know. I'm a dude. It's hard to gauge exactly like inches, right? Alyssa gets jokes.
I've been told about that.
I've been told.
Not about you, but other people.
I've been told. 14. Anyhow, but when I start to freak out if I have planaria, if it has that diamond head, it has this like diamond pattern to its head. Preston posted some pictures about it. The kind that he has. Where did that go? I'm going to scroll up here preemptively. I think he posted a picture about it. No, I'm wrong. He posted it on Instagram. So you have to find Preston on Instagram, but he posted a video about the planaria that he's got. And it has kind of like a diamond head, like these little horns that come out the side and a little bit of hornage that comes out the front. That's the one that you want to be concerned about. If you do see that one showing up, then it's just time to do a treatment. Otherwise, I'm not worried about it, personally. Like Hydra, like good luck. I mean, they might sting a shrimp on the way by or something like that, but it is really difficult to be like, oh, they're attacking the shrimp. Like, they don't even move around, So it's like they aren't really attacking things, that kind of stuff. So, I get concerned when that diamond head planaria shows up, because the only way to really get rid of them is you can trap them. If you can trap them whole and take them out of the tank, you can do that. Mm-hmm. You can essentially use you can use like an old medicine bottle and drill little holes in it and then put food inside there, dunk it into your tank and leave it in there. Typically, if you do it when the lights are out, you'll catch more of them. So let me explain that a little bit better. You drill little tiny holes in the bottom, put the food in it, put it into your tank, like get it fully submerged, and then drop it towards the substrate. That's when you're really going to get them, because they'll come up in through the holes, and then they won't really get out. And then you can just take the medicine bottle out when it has a bunch of them collected in it and throw it away. Do not try to crush the planaria, because if you crush the planaria, you've just made more. That's one thing that people don't realize. You cut them in half, you made 2. They are one of the most resilient things around, and so you do actually have to treat for them from time to time. But like I said, I only treat whenever I find the specific one. That specific one with the diamond head, like the 2 points that come out of the side and the little point that comes out of the top. That's the one that I worry about. Otherwise, the other ones, I just reduce feeding. I might do a little bit of vacuuming, like I might take a tube and start a siphon and just siphon up some of them just to lower their population down. But those are the ones with the weird points on the head is the one that I'm really worried about. Otherwise, the other ones, like I said, I just do a little bit of cleaning, reduce my feeding, and then just continue on. If you are using products like Bacter AE and Good Shrimp Food and stuff like that, you're probably going to be fine because the shrimp are going to be breeding and doing well enough that, let's say it gets 1 out of 100 shrimp. You're going to keep making more shrimp, so it's not really going to be that big of a deal.
Right.
Let's see. William Jansen says, I use Axilurvet 10%, which is fenbendazole, 1 milliliter per 50 liters of water. Works and safe for shrimp. Here in Europe, we do not always have the same meds or the name of meds. Yeah, there you go. So William Jansen coming through with a good
knowledge.
With the knowledge bombs for a little European crowd out there. You got to remember our Euro friends, which reminds me, we do have a post from our European friend in the Patreon post here today, so that's going to be pretty cool because I was talking with him a little bit, and we might be going to Vivarium.
Nice.
We might be going together. If you guys know what a vivarium is, but that's the convention that I'm kind of gunning for right now. I'm gonna see if I can't maybe get some sponsorship or whatnot, but I think most likely I'm just gonna put that on the credit card and see if I regret it later. Because the plane tickets are only like $550. So I mean,
that's pretty good.
Here's the thing: even if I find a sponsor and they're like, "Oh, we'll sponsor like $500," it's like, dude, that pretty much covers the airfare. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay, that's not bad. Let's see. Primetime Aquatics was messaging me the other day, wanted to know if I was coming to Aquashella.
Mm-hmm.
I have no plans on going to Aquashella because I don't have any sponsorship or anything like that. And the last times that I've gone to Chicago and stuff like that, it just costs way too much money. Just being brutally honest with you guys that, spending like I think it was $2,200 is what it costs to go to the aquatic experience last time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just too much money, and I'm gone from my family, and it costs a lot of money, and $2,200 is over 2 months worth of production time on this channel as far as how much we're sponsored right now. You guys can go to Patreon; it's public there. We're at like $1,100 a month. So if I spend $2,200 going to a 3-day convention and meet 50 people, that puts me in the hole for 2 months of like video production. So I wouldn't be able to update programs or, fix cameras or take time to actually make stuff because I do work for myself. So if I take time to do work, some of that money's got to come back and pay some of the bills. You know what I mean? So that's the main reasoning. It's not because I don't want to meet people in person. I love meeting people in person. It's like my favorite. It's like pretty much my favorite part of the hobby is being able to actually meet people, talk to people, and that kind of stuff. Like, I mean, other than actually growing plants, no one could compare. But I would love to be doing some more of that. But I can't do it without some sponsorship or something. And it just seems to me like a lot of companies aren't really that interested. Somebody that's at my level, they're like, nah, we'll just not do that. How about that? Somebody wanted to sponsor the channel the other day. Check this out. They wanted to sponsor the channel by giving a discount on their so they're like a fancy sock company.
A sock company?
Yeah. Like a fancy sock company for your feet. You know what I mean? Socks on your feet.
Yep.
And they wanted to give me a personalized discount code if I was to promote their company on YouTube.
So not filter socks.
Not filter socks.
Just foot socks.
Yeah, just socks. Just like, bro, we got fancy socks. Here's a discount code for all the people that watch your show. And I'm like, look, I appreciate a discount code or whatever, but like, what are you talking about? Like, it's so weird.
I mean, that's the kind of thing that's cool for more generalized channels that cover a lot of different topics.
Right. I mean, everybody that watches this channel probably wears socks at some point in time.
I'm wearing socks right now.
Just on the basis that most people are wearing socks at some point in time. But so I guess I could get that point. I could get that part where you're like, well, everybody wears socks. Fish people need socks too, bro. But I'm just like, what? What's the deal?
It's almost like, wasn't Steve calling himself like Soggy Socks or something like that for a while?
I should have hit up Steve to see if Steve's soggy socks and more. Soggy shrimp socks. The Skoggy McScoggerton. Yeah. So yeah, as Joel G says, Joel just paused because he realized he's doing the ad right now. I'm not doing an ad read. I'm doing an ad read for socks. Hey guys, buy some socks. Socks are great. Socks fit on your feet. They help wick away the moisture during the day while you're working out in the fields. The hard, sweaty, laborious fields where you work in and you work there, grinding, working super hard. You wear yourself some woolly mammoth socks. I actually have merino. These are merino. Oh no, these aren't. These are just regular wool socks.
Oh.
But I did get some merino wool socks.
Nice.
Oh, buddy. It's like living in the lap of sock luxury. Oh, my God. I was freaking out.
I have some for
and I'm
the
still
winter,
going to freak out. And by the way, I'm just going to stay way down here. I'm just going to stay down here for the rest of the show. You guys can...
Slouching with the best of them.
You guys can just look at my eyebrows and my eyeballs. I'm just going to stay down here because we got to go to the Hex Tank Apologist.
Aphids in your eyebrows?
I always have aphids in my eyebrows, bro, a.k.a. dandruff. I got dandruff. See, my eyebrows have their own ecosystem. You know, there's like clouds and humidity and wind and tornadoes occasionally. That's how big my eyebrows are. They are out of control.
Their own climate.
They have their own climate. That's right. They have their own barometric pressure.
That's awesome.
But let's go to the Hex Tank Apologist post here that has been lingering over on the right-hand side of the page here. Straight up from the Patreon. By the way, Hex Tank Apologist, very active. Very active and very much appreciate you.
Look at that carpet. That's awesome.
My foot fell asleep. That's why I had to sit down here because I was sitting on my foot, and my foot is tingling so bad right now. Speaking of socks. Yo. Anyhow, this is a 20 long, 25% water change every week, 23 silver tip tetras, 10 Amano shrimp, 2 Nerite snails, and a partridge in a hex tank. Any suggestion on 1 to 2 centerpiece type fish that can coexist with the silver tips and not destroy the plants? What do you got? What's your knee-jerk reaction?
Well, I mean, my first reaction is like a cool betta. But then I'm afraid, people will be like, oh, a cool betta will get, huge fins and whatever, and then those tetras will tear it apart.
Yeah. You got a cool beta? That's what you're going to go with?
That would be my first.
That's your knee-jerk?
Yeah, but then I always go for the placots, so,
I have to say, if this is a hex tank, which it probably is. No, it's a 20 long. Oh, my God.
Yeah, he said it's a 20 long.
Oh, my God. He actually has a normal tank. All right. Well, it's 20 long. I would say, first of all, hex tank apologists should swap this out for a hex tank because they are superior, as he's told me on numerous occasions.
Fact.
Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. What's that? Oh, that's like identity theft is a crime, Jim.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I think first of all, you should probably swap this into a hex tank. And honestly, I had tailored my answer to being a hex tank, and it's not. It's a regular 20 long.
Do you feel betrayed?
I feel betrayed, but not bad. But not badly. That's good. I would say if this was a hex tank, I would go with more silver tips. That's what I would continue to do because eventually, once they start to school up in that circular hex tank action, that's what I'm talking about. That'd be cool. They'd be cruising around in there big time. You'd have like that smaller version of the one that everybody posted videos about from Aquashella Dallas, right? Did you see that?
No.
Everybody went to a store and they had like a 500-gallon circular tank. I'm trying to think of what the name of it is. It's a circle.
A cylinder?
Cylinder. There you go.
There you go.
I'm dumb. Like the dumbest person. Oh, so disappointed in my own stupidity.
That's okay. I'm here.
Makes me mad. It's a cylinder tank, and I think it's like 500 gallons, 600 gallons. So it's pretty big, and it was full of neons.
Nice.
Neon tetras, just a ton of them, like 1,000 of them in there, or maybe more. Probably more. And they're all just like going around in a circle. Definitely like it. But in a smaller tank like this, I think, the only thing that's really in danger would be like the Amano shrimp. But I almost feel like an opaline gourami would be really cool in this tank. That's what I'm thinking. That's my vibe. That's my jive.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, no, I was having a moment where I was trying to see if...
Did you fall asleep?
No, I was trying to...
Hey, man,
I was
wake up.
going through my... Where am I?
I don't know. At the zoo?
Oh, man, I want to go to the zoo.
We gotta go to Point Defiance, man. It's
Anyway,
only like 10 miles from here. It's easy to get to.
I know, and they have that new aquarium that I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't even been there. I've been to the old one.
We take the Peanut.
Yes.
We should all go to the zoo.
That would be fun.
We can't go this weekend. Makes me
well.
sad.
No, I was just looking at that. I was like, okay, tetras are South America. Amano shrimp are... Okay, so none of it is... It's not like a...
It's not a biotope.
No, not at all.
No.
I mean, my first thought was, oh, no, we're screwing up the biotope. And I'm like, no, we're not doing that anyway, so it's okay.
It is. Yeah, but it's a dope tank. Mine is opaline gourami. That's what I'm thinking. And you'd probably be able to find it.
Yeah.
Ooh, Dominique Nadeau. Check this out. He's got his move going on. Dominique Nadeau. Dominique Nadeau. Oh! If you guys don't know, Dominique Nadeau is super smart. Dr. Man. I'm jealous.
And he's really nice, too.
And he's really nice. And he's Canadian, I think. Well, no.
Quebec key.
It's Quebec,
Yeah.
Quebecois, right?
Yeah.
I think it's Quebecois.
Which is also actually Canadian, but
It
French
is Canadian. But French Canadian, yeah.
Mhm.
I think.
Which
Maybe.
explains the very French name.
Le very French. Franche. Parlez-vous français? No. Oui?
Mm-mm.
No.
No.
Oui? Croissant. Anyhow, after 3 days of banging fishes... banging.
Bagging.
I'm so dumb. The dumbest person I've ever met. After 3 days of bagging fishes and plant, moving tanks, replanting plants, painting backgrounds, I can finally say that my first part of my moving to another city is done. Only one casualty, a little blue tetra. I don't know what that is. Caucus?
I would think crocus?
Crocus? Maybe crocus. Blue tetra. It sucks, but it was prepared. But I was prepared for the worst. Now I have a new challenge for water changes. The sink in that apartment are weird and don't have the screwable aerator, so I can't remove it and hook up my Python to it. I used a little flexible tube to hook onto the faucet, but the pressure is not enough to drain. I don't have a drain near, so pumping to the drain will be hard. I can pump used water outside, but it's a problem in winter. Anyone think of a solution except buckets full of water? And then Alyssa's on here blasting stuff, and then Jason's on here blasting stuff. You guys are all talking, which we like. We really like that. We like that back and forth. That's one of the reasons why we like the Patreon. We like the Discord. We like all that because it gives us an ability to build a little community and do a thing. What's going on here? Wait a minute. There we go.
I want to see a picture of this shower head that he can't unscrew, though.
Alyssa says, what does the shower head look like? It should be able to unscrew, and then you can get an attachment for hoses from that. The shower head is mostly unscrewable. It's a bar thing stuck in the wall. Oh, yeah, trust me. When you leave the United States, you will find yourself face to face with some of the weirdest plumbing crap you have seen, that you have ever seen. The United States has fairly uniform fittings and things like that. It is fairly easy to find some kind of accommodation, but like stuff like that, it's a nightmare. And let me see if I can't find this thing here real quick. So we want water faucet splitter. This might be it. Let me see if I can't find this. Under sink. See if I can't find this. This may take a second for me to find on the old Who's He What's It. Okay, so here's this deal right here. Let me get the text link because I can't do another thing. Text link. This is fairly... This piece right here does a lot of what people are kind of looking for. It's sort of a splitter adapter kind of deal. It should adapt to an older faucet if you happen to live in an older faucet. It's kind of a power takeoff deal, and it has an aerator, blah, blah, blah. So you can actually just stick that, screw that into the old sink, and then you'll be able to screw your hose directly onto the side. So you'll be able to put your Python on that way, because that's almost always the problem that everybody has is like, oh, my Python doesn't screw onto this thing. It's this old weird sink, and it doesn't work right. And then if that doesn't work, then I gotta find the other thing that oh, man, this is gonna be a pain to try and figure out what that thing is called. Let's see, water.
And then I can talk about the Acme trap version of what I would do if I was in such a situation.
Yeah, what would you do?
So if really like you can't attach your Python to a faucet for any reason, and as you said, you already don't have water pressure or anything like that, what you could do, and this is crazy, so you know, so have a really
this
long.
Is crazy.
It is crazy. Have a
Here's
really
my
long
number.
hose.
What?
Have a really long hose, and then you drain it from your tank by gravity, basically, into your toilet or your bathtub or your shower drain or whatever like that. That's how you drain. And then how you fill, and this is one of them stupid life hack things that I saw once. If you get a unused, totally clean dustpan, like for sweeping, like sweep into the dustpan and then you throw it into the trash. And you kind of balance it on your sink.
Yeah, I know exactly.
So
what you're
that
talking about.
it becomes like a funnel that pours the water from the tap, and then you put like a bucket underneath it and it catches the water there. And then if you don't want to lug buckets, you get a power head and you attach your vinyl tubing to it, long vinyl tubing again. And you plug it in, and it'll just dump that water into your tank. Now, again, this is the several steps, kind of crazy. You know, the candle breaks or burns the string or melts the wax or whatever, and it goes, the marble rolls down and knocks the thing over and tips the egg onto the fire. Yeah, that's the crazy way to do it.
But
I have done that before.
But you have done that.
Yes.
So
there was a time my back hurt and I didn't have someone there to do my water changes for me. And
I know that. I feel that pain.
Yeah.
I feel that back pain.
If you get a bigger bucket than just your little 5-gallon pails, it's a little bit easier because usually your sink tap doesn't fill as fast as the water pumps.
Right.
So, yeah.
We did have somebody post in the chat on the live stream here that where did my chat go? I don't know who it was. It was a while ago, so kind of missed it. I don't know who it was, but they said that it looked like Alyssa looks like not Alyssa in the thumbnail today.
Oh.
I did post it up on Facebook. We were trying to find a new artist. Our artist went by the way of the dodo. I don't know. Our artist is just no longer our artist anymore, so I have been auditioning for... Basically, now I'm having to go through Fiverr and just spend money at artists to make us some artist renderings. And I do have to admit, off of today's thumbnail, I'm not unhappy with the way that my goofy face turned out. I think it's fine. And I'll probably use it on some other stuff. I wish that my glasses weren't grayed out like some weird old dude with the tinted glasses. But I'm not unhappy with that. But yeah, the Alyssa one doesn't really look like Alyssa. It looks like somebody else. But hey, it was... I think the whole order was like $17 or something like that, so it wasn't really that much money, but it's just turning into a time issue at this point.
Right.
But if somebody out there is a vector artist, basically, if somebody's like a vector artist and they want to make a couple of bucks from making some art on the channel, you guys could do that. I kept trying to deal with our previous artist, and eventually, I just got so frustrated because I had to send out the message that was like, "Hey, should I just get somebody else? What's the problem?" like it's like, "Oh yeah, I'm working on that this weekend," and then like 3 weeks go by, and you're like, "Dude, what is happening?" So our artist was just too busy and was like, yeah, you got to find somebody else. I'm just too busy. So hopefully we'll find somebody else. We got a couple super chats here to address. The Fish Tank Barn with a $5 super chat says, this super chat's for the sock fund. You can use them for filtration like that old fish store Corey used to talk about.
Yep.
You do not want to go to that old fish store. You do not want to travel back in time and go there. That place was like, I've always said it was like the Mogwai shop. It was like that store where they got the thing that made the Gremlins, Mogwai.
Uh-huh.
Gizmo the Mogwai. Go back and watch Gremlins the movie. That's like a worse version of that store was what that fish store was like. It sucked. It was the worst.
Mm-hmm.
They did have some good fish, but I didn't ever want to buy them because it was like encouraging that guy's terrible behavior. He literally, I went in there one day, he had a stack of wet books. That's what was holding this tank from just falling over onto the ground. He just stuck some old books under it. Seriously. And they were wet. Like, wet.
It's probably the tank was leaking on him.
Doesn't matter. The whole place was leaking. There's like rats in there. It was disgusting.
Ugh.
Tyler Clinkscales with a $5 super chat says, what's your two's opinion on feeding small amounts a couple times a day, and if done, is feeding when tank lights off a bad thing? You two are awesomes. Well, I appreciate the generous super chat and the compliments. What do you think about multiple feedings and lights out feedings?
Well, it depends on your fish. Like, I know endlers, for instance, will basically curl up on the ground and go to sleep after the lights are off, which freaks people out when they see that sometimes, which is kind of funny. But small amounts a couple times a day, I think that's awesome. I mean, like, how do you feel if you eat basically Thanksgiving dinner for breakfast and then you just walking around a food baby all day long, right?
I'm not a fish, though.
I know. But yeah, I don't know. I usually feed a couple times a day, small amounts. Depends on the fish. As far as feeding at night, my bristlenoses, that's how I feed them. I feed them at night because they seem to do that the best. Except for the tank where it's really just them in the tank, and then I just feed them in the morning so I can see who's there. And they're used to coming out during the day. So if you've got bold fish that are okay with coming out, then you can feed them during the day. If you have shy fish, they're probably going to want to be fed at night. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
And
So I guess the first part, like, I don't think that there really is that big of an advantage to little bits of feeding throughout the day. I think that realistically that would probably lead to overfeeding, because you're like trying to feed even smaller, tinier amounts of food, and you probably aren't measuring and weighing out like the total amount in the morning, right?
yeah. And I am the one with the planaria issue, so take everything that I said with a grain of salt.
That's normal. It's not a big deal. Relax. I get to be self-deprecating around here and make fun of myself. Not you. That's my job.
Man,
I'm
my
just kidding.
rights.
You're right. My rights. I'll kick you. So much violence around here, guys. Yeah, no, I'm just giving you a hard time. But I feel like, little bits of feeding probably leads to overfeeding, because little bit, but I think if you can manage it, it's not a big deal. And I don't think it would necessarily be a bad thing. One of the things about like fish in nature, a lot of them are going to nibble on things, but a lot of them are super opportunistic feeders in the fact that, like, they could go like 5 days, find nothing, and then one day all of a sudden find like a grasshopper to eat, and the fish is like a little tiny fish. And they'll just sit there and eat on it and overeat, So I'm not that concerned about it. Feeding fish at night is realistic when the lights are out for a lot of fish is just a waste of food and will essentially most likely lead to bad water conditions, that kind of stuff, because you're probably overfeeding, because the food you put in there, a lot of fish do sleep. Most fish, or actually is all fish, I think all fish sleep. We don't really realize that as humans, but all fish have a time where they go to sleep. And they may or may not just be sitting there like, but they're asleep. A good example would be like sharks. Sharks can't even stop swimming.
Yeah.
But there are spots in the ocean where divers can go down there and they can find just tons of sharks, because the flow of water going through there is perfect, that they can actually just kind of stop and the water will flow through their gills and still keep them breathing without them having to move. And they can just literally like, I can just come down here and rest for a little while. I don't know what their sleep cycle is, but most freshwater fish are, day to day. It gets dark out, gets light out, gets dark out, gets light out. So they will spend some time sleeping. So, normally when fish are hiding out and stuff like that, they're just not ready to eat anything. So they'll kind of just hide out because of fear of predators. So it is just kind of a waste of food and will likely just kind of dirty up the tank. So I try to stick to one feeding because it's easier for me to measure the food and make sure I'm not overfeeding and stuff like that. So
it's an important from the chat. Jim Smith says, I like to overfeed 3 times a day so that I can wonder why I have water quality issues.
yeah, there you go. That's perfect. That's pretty perfect right there. That pretty much dials it in, That explains it.
Yep.
Let's move on to our next post, which is Ricky Tan, who's got a brand new contribution to the old fish fam. Says, I ran into a new species to join the aquarium hobby. Welcome the newest member to the club. Gotta up my pledge so he can get the scoop when he's older. Which is great, and congratulations. We were tracking him. We were tracking him through the Discord. He was 12 hours in at the hospital, 15 hours in at the hospital, and then he kind of went radio silent and was like, that must have been a baby. It must have been a baby. And then lo and behold, we got a great little Patreon post here just to show you what a lovely, lovely son. We don't know what size. Huge, small, tiny.
I don't know. He looks like he's 8 feet tall.
He's probably came out 8 feet tall. I forgot. I'm scrolling back down. Sorry, guys. I have to hit my little hearts on here so people will know when I was talking about their post. I was forgetting to do it. But beautiful son, welcome to the fish hobby. Don't put him in anything smaller than an 80-gallon. Anything below that is just too small. It's just too small for them. They need enough swimming space to swim around and do what they got to do. And plus they poop a lot, so you got to have a good amount of water volume. Otherwise, it's just gonna get it's going to get toxic in there pretty quick. So,
Yeah.
you know, 80 gallons kind of the minimum. But I think if you're feeling like a real adult, you'd go at least a 200 gallon. You know, I mean, get yourself a 200 gallon, drop them in there, gives them enough space to, you know, carouse around and do the things that they're supposed to do. And overall, I think you'll see a better result with a larger volume of water with this little fish.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, because they're going to grow fast.
they're going to grow fast.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, can't turn around on the tank anymore.
Right. To upgrade their tank.
Water's dirty. You got to upgrade their tank, which means you got to go after the fact, and boom. Next thing you know, like, you're hanging out at the fish store. We all know that's a huge waste of time and money. Wastes all of our resources, which is why I go to Aquarium Co-op online and order my stuff on it. No, I'm just kidding. I do go to Aquarium Co-op because I try to avoid going to stores because I spend way too much money and come home with stuff I just shouldn't have bought in the first place. I literally will I've never seen this water conditioner before. I'm going to try it out like an idiot because I'm dumb and I'll have spent that money. The Fish Keeper has posted this in. It's turning into the office on the Patreon. I'm telling you, everybody's starting to get avatars with people from the office.
Is that? I can't tell. It's too small for me to see.
That's what's his name? Scott.
Is it?
The manager. I forget his name now.
Michael Scott.
Michael Scott. There you go. Never trust anybody with two first names.
Oh, it is.
He posted the Neo Caridina de Vidii, which is a great poster, and I'm not sure if I have this poster, but I do have a bunch of Shrimp King posters. I have them framed up. They will be in the background at some point in time, probably after next week. I'm not sure if they'll be up on Wednesday or not, but Monday, or did I say Wednesday? I mean Monday. I don't know if Monday's show will have them on or not, but they will be up in the background soon. I love Chris's posters, and I'm not sure if my posters are signed or not. I have to check on that.
Tell him he has to come out and sign your stuff.
We were actually talking the other day about possibly doing a convention thing together.
Nice.
But we'll see. I haven't heard back from him.
Well,
He was all excited about me coming out to a certain convention, and I was like, I don't know. I can't afford to do that. So he's going to see about possibly a thing. I don't know. Maybe we're going to go. Maybe we're going to go somewhere and do some more stuff. Now, I think now I'm actually even more prepared. Well, I don't think. I know I'm more prepared for filming more and stuff like that. For filming and stuff like that, I look forward to, like, you know, meeting up with Chris again and stuff like that, because it's been about a year. I've gotten a little bit better. I've got a little better equipment. I've got stuff like that. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully next time I'm in Germany and I get to hang out with Stefan Hummel, I have batteries in the audio recording device that are fully charged instead of what happened last time.
plus, I mean,
I'm an idiot.
the
That's the theme of the day.
well, but the videos of you and Chris together are pretty good. So, you know, make more of that.
We'll make more of that. I got to move to Germany. I don't know. This whole America thing is...
You get
this
free
whole
college in
experiment-
Germany.
This whole experiment in America is not going well.
Mm-hmm.
Don't bring politics into the live stream. People are going to freak out.
Look at. God.
Yeah.
Do it.
Oh, my God. Did you die? You're still on camera. I can see you. You didn't die.
I couldn't
You didn't
go
die.
any further.
You didn't die good enough.
I got stuck.
Yep. You didn't die well enough. Sorry. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Oh, it's a good day, you mob. I'm not sure what that means. I'm triggered by the word mob, though, because of that one guy who reported me to the
I think mob
authorities.
just means group for the South.
for, like, Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's right.
Cause isn't it like Is it kangaroos altogether as a mob or something? I don't know. I don't know. Now I'm just saying stuff I don't know.
It's probably
Okay.
birds.
I don't know.
Did you ever meet a bird before? You get a whole bunch of them together. Stribble Town.
Sometimes.
Let's see. James R. sends this in. He says he's been away. Sorry, been a bit busy. Had 3 bouts of pancreatitis in 6 weeks. We'll post tank updates soon.
Oh.
It's a big update. I'm glad to hear James is doing better again. I was kind of wondering what was going on. I'm sorry to hear about the pancreatitis. That is not fun.
No.
That is just... I've never had pancreatitis, but I've been around people that have had it, and that is just hardcore. I'm glad to hear you're back up on your feet, and we got a big update coming. So it gives me something to look forward to.
Yeah.
I look forward to big updates, you guys. Sometimes I look forward to small updates too. They don't have to all be big updates. Bentley Pascal himself. Shameless self-promotion, which we all agree with 100%. I was actually going to make a link and put it into the chat for this video right here, but then it's posted on the Patreon so people can check it out there, right?
Yeah.
Anyhow, shameless self-promotion. Joel talked about the update to the Fluval 3.0 lights on today's stream. I did a video covering everything you need to know along with my personal settings I'm testing. You can check that out there. And I have to admit, go check out that video. Bentley is a big-time fan of the show. He comes on the show sometimes, and he will be back sometime. And if I keep saying the word time, I'm going to hit my head onto the table here.
Time.
But definitely go check out that video. It's about 20 minutes long. It's a really good video. I liked it a lot. I think I forgot to hit the like button on it, but yeah, I think everybody that goes there should probably hit the like button on Bentley's stuff. Don't worry about hitting the like button here. We don't care about that anymore. We have a Patreon page and members and stuff. We don't care about thumbs up and like buttons and all that nonsense anymore.
Still hit the like button.
You can do it if you like.
Do it. Do it because I said to.
But I'm saying that you should go do it over on Bentley's video. It's pretty good. You have a really low turnout today. I don't know why. People are tripping. All right. Anyhow, but yeah, go check out that video. It's definitely going to show you guys some of the really cool new features on the Fluval 3.0, and I definitely seen a lot of traction. People showing up on some the Fluval light videos I have out there that are like tripping about stuff. Somebody was yelling at me about how their customer service is terrible or whatnot. I don't know. I've never dealt with Fluval's customer service because I deal with Aquarium Co-op's customer service because I ain't tripping like Fluval be tripping. But I will say this, in their defense, they are an international company with a lot of different locations and stuff like that, and they aren't necessarily they don't.
Oh, dude, I was right. Kangaroos are mobs. Yes.
Yeah.
I was right.
Like I said, birds.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
I said birds. Why do you interrupt the show for kangaroo talk?
Because it's fun. They hop.
It's pretty good, though, I have to admit. Yeah, they're an international company. They don't have a customer service location down the street from wherever you happen to be. So they have a lot of people to deal with and stuff like that. So if you are in America, definitely go with Aquarium Co-op. If you're going to get a Fluval 3.0 light, definitely use my affiliate link because it definitely helps the show because they're an affiliate sponsor. Blah, 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 blah. Moving on. Go check out Bentley's video because it's freaking awesome, and you will not be disappointed. I mean, maybe you'll be disappointed. I don't know. I liked it, and I recommend it. Does that work? Okay, moving on. Groveside Aquariums. Santa cannot say your last name. Look at that. You guys, you can see it now. I said to you last week that I couldn't say this last name, and guess what? I still can't say it because I don't even know what the...
Santa Pitahaleto?
Yeah, do you notice that there are...
All those
umlauts over things?
Yeah, I don't know how to do
I'm going to completely say it wrong, but Groveside Aquariums I can definitely say. And Santa, what is up? This is dope. We got a post from Groveside. I've been waiting. I think she had to change out her... I think it's a she, right? I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm more of a fan of the females in the fish keeping community because there's so few of you. Like, I feel like, just on the rarity factor that I'm like, I feel like I have to encourage every lady out there, not because I'm a weird creep. Me being weird and creepy is completely isolated in a whole different direction. I just would like to encourage more women to get into the hobby. I wish there could be more. I wish it could be 50-50. It's literally like 90-10 or something like that. And it's ridiculous.
I will say, I mean, as far as what Santa identifies as, I know one person with that exact same name, and they are non-binary. So I don't know.
Is that really happening to you right now?
Like, that's actually a thing, yeah.
I know like 2 female Santas.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So
Okay.
I was assuming female, but
It very
and I just got into this weird rant about females because we were actually talking about that earlier, just like how few females there are in the hobby, and like we just got to get more.
It was
I mean, I'm not
relevant
saying-
because
I mean, I would like it to be 50-50, and I don't know if it ever will be 50-50, but even if it was like 25-75.
right. Like, I don't know if you guys out there in the internet know this, but I am a female person on the internet. So there's that.
Who?
Me. And
Are
so
you here,
it was
are you
relevant.
here right now?
I
Like
am
for real?
sometimes. Yeah.
I thought you were. Oh god! Freaking ghost! There's ghosts in the basement. Oh my god! You guys, I was surprised. Anyhow, I don't know. We always just get on these little sidebars here. Let's get back to the topic at hand. Has nothing to do with male or female or anything. Hi, I'm an aquarium hobbyist and a fan of the YouTube channel from Finland. We got to go to Finland too.
Nice.
I have 9 freshwater aquariums at the moment. 9! The number 9, not no in German. This acrylic one being the latest addition. I really appreciate the hard work Joel puts into this channel and don't mind at all the occasional talks about world and life in general. Have a good week, everyone. Look at this. Not only do we have somebody who's on the Patreon, but also says from Finland that you appreciate some of the world talk sometimes. It's so friendly.
Yeah.
It's so friendly.
I appreciate it.
Sometimes I cry, you guys, and it's normally when there's just like really bad news, you know? Like there was a shooting in El Paso, and both of the parents of the infant were shot and killed. And only the infant survived. And I literally just sat down and started crying when I read that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's times like these that I almost won't cry too, because it just seems so friendly that somebody from the other side of the planet, like, is just like, hey, I gotta reach out. I'm gonna help out. Let's do a thing. Let's keep a community going. Which is cool. It makes me happy. It makes me happy sad. Sometimes I'm sad. But thank you very much, Groveside Aquariums. I appreciate it. And Alyssa says, welcome to the group from 3 days ago. How do you time travel? I don't know. But I would like to utilize your time travel device because I bought a Powerball ticket, a lottery ticket, to those of you that are confused. And I did not win. I did not win. I'm disappointed in myself, you guys. I did not win the lottery.
Man, Joel, you were supposed to win.
I tried.
Well, try better
I'm
next
going to be
time.
honest with you guys. I didn't try that hard. I had to buy gas in the morning, and I was like, I'm hungry, so I'm going to go inside there. And I really ate some cheat meal food. It was like a tiny breakfast burrito thing.
Oh.
And then I was like, what's the lottery tonight? Because I'm feeling like I'm going to win. And then it turns out,
Your feeling was wrong.
all I did was just give some money to those guys. That's unfortunate, guys, because I really had all the plans figured out in my head what we were going to do, but didn't work out.
Yeah.
Justin E. sends this one in, though. Finishing product after 2 weeks of strong growth, simple but elegant.
It's so cute.
It is cute.
It's like you could put it in your pocket almost.
You could put this tiny aquarium
In a big pocket.
I mean, maybe if you had like cargo pants or something,
Right.
that'd be all right.
Not one of my non-existent pockets, but somebody else's pocket.
That's pretty cool, though. I have to
Yeah.
admit. I would almost find some more daintier driftwood, though, personally.
Oh, like
Daintier.
them little sticks that you can get from the co-op.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Do they still have those?
I think so.
Okay.
I got a whole bunch of those. I should get those out. I got to get those to Shelby and Preston. Oh, we got a super chat hanging over here from Lucas Kaplan. $2. Make you holla. Because it doesn't say to do anything. What do you got? You hollering?
I did earlier. Remember when I died?
You did, that's right. When you foe died.
Yep.
You didn't really die. There wasn't any actual dying.
No.
Let's not die.
Not today.
Not today, sir. Not today.
Unless, of course, we want to be Klingons.
We got
Today.
another post from the Fish Keeperist, which, by the way, was super difficult to make this image out on my cell phone. When I got the... I don't know, guys. I woke up at like 2:15 in the morning or something like that. No, it was 2:48. That's when I woke up because there was like a bunch of alerts going off on my phone, and I was like, "What the heck is going on here?" And this is not the one that woke me up, but this is one that I looked at because I had to go pee, and so I was like, I looked at my phone for a second, and then it was like, "Oh, Fish Keepers posted something up," and let me check this out. My 2-year-old girl is fascinated with Dad's fishes, and I would say this somehow ties into what we were talking about earlier. We do need our daughters to get into some fish tankery madness, and I think this might be the path. If you have a 2-year-old daughter, you hook her up with some dope fish tanks and give her some projects to work on, and before you know it, she'll be 30, and you'll be dead, and she'll be an awesome fish keeper, and then we'll all not have to worry about it because we will no longer exist. We'll be fine. And we'll leave our daughters here, like mine. Here's mine. I'll put... Oh. She went behind. See that? She went behind. We got to get my daughter and move her up in the line here so that she'll show up. Hold on. I got to move her up higher in the priority list here so I can move her over here. So we get these daughters, and then we get them some dope fish tanks, and then the next thing you know, boom, shka boom. A long time has gone by. And oh my God, I left the audio on. Stupid. Oh, I'm dumb. Told you I was dumb. I think somebody Facebooked me. Is that Facebook Messenger? Is that what that was?
No, that's the Discord.
Joey Coco Diaz twittered. I do not ever use my Twitter account, but I get so many emails from that place. Whatever that thing is, that Twitter thing, the Twitter sphere.
I stopped.
Oh my God, we got a new patronizer during the show.
Oh, cool.
And Jeanette. Welcome. At the $5 level. How kind is that? That's so nice.
That's awesome.
So many nice people out here in the world.
I'm glad you're there. You know.
You know what's weird is like a couple of people coming on to Patreon is worth like... Here's what's crazy. I was looking up the analytics the other day from a video that I posted up that had, it was over 10 minutes long. It had over 15,000 views. You know how much money? Guess how much money it made. So it's over 10 minutes long, which means that it qualifies for extra, basically like extra income because of how long it is, because there'll be multiple commercials on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it counts. So it counts towards premium income, right?
Yeah.
And 15,000 views. How much do you think it made?
$7.
Oh, you're low.
Oh.
You're low.
$10.
You're still low.
Oh. 25?
Oh, now you're high. Now you're high.
Uh-oh. I didn't even take anything.
It made $21 over 3 months. Which is intensely like, what? So it's kind of one of those things. Like, it's just a couple people coming on to Patreon or whatever just outshines that stuff. People becoming members and stuff. Like, I think we only have like 80 members on here, and that's more than they pay out like at all. Where did my... Did I accidentally close? I think I did. I think I closed Google.
You closed Google? Man, there's going to be a lot of people out of work.
No, I closed like Google Chrome somehow. What? What happened? What did I do? But I still have the chat open. That is so weird. That's bizarre. I guess I'll reopen Google Chrome and go to YouTube and see if it's still working. I don't know. We'll find out. Where's my channel? There's my channel. Let's go to this. Yeah, I guess we're live now, so it's still working.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. I don't know. We may have killed it, but who knows? It says I'm still broadcasting from XSplit, so that's
The
fine.
live chat's still going.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to this. Where's my control? I need to get to my control panel. I lost my control panel somehow.
Everybody's still trying to guess the amount, so it must not have caught up yet.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, this is weird. Why is it doing this? Oh, okay. Here we go. Studio Classic. Skip this because, well, I don't know. I don't want to tell you why I need to go to Studio Classic because we're live. Is it working? Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's still working. Okay, we're cool. Pop out chat. Somehow I accidentally closed Google Chrooms. That's so weird. That's a weird thing to have done.
Yeah, that's crazy. Don't do that.
I don't know what happened. Well, normally, like, it would not let me. It wouldn't let me like close Google Chrome because I had multiple windows open. So I'm not really sure why it let me do that at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of bizarre. Anyhow, well, let's get back to our portion of the show here with the Patreonizers. Preston John, aka Board in Arizona, has posted us his Neocaridina Davidii. Am I saying it wrong? Davidii.
I would just say David.
Feeding ratio of 5% per day. This is some super nerd stuff, and it might be helpful to anybody out there. So feel free to check it out. He says, here's the chart I use to help feed my shrimp. I only count full adult shrimp. I feed when the lights are out if the shrimp are in a tank with fish. I hope this helps some of you. And yeah, I think that's, I hope that's helpful for anybody out there. You can definitely go over and check it out. I don't think we're going to like breaking this down all big time and sit here and just talk about the numbers, but feel free to check it out if you get an opportunity, and should be pretty informative if you have time, you know, doing your thing. If y'all's doing your thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely go over there and check that out. It's very in-depth, and it makes a lot of sense once you kind of look at it. We got our final post of the day from Patreon, which is from Johan S., who's in the Netherlands, who I hope to go out to Johan's place and check out his fish room, because he posts all the time. Not every single week. He missed one or two, but he posts weekly fish of the week, and they're always cool, and they're always like from his fish room, which is wild, because some of the fish that he's posted up here are some wild fish that you just don't see very often. Now we have the striped dwarf catfish of the Mistus, the M. vitatus. Feeding will consume anything offered. Pellets make a good staple, especially those made for pond fish. Will also accept meaty foods like chopped shellfish, krill, shrimp, earthworms, and frozen fish. Despite its common name, the striped dwarf catfish is fairly sizable fish, with length over 6 inches being very common. That's right. And by the way, don't just go setting up a tank being like, oh, I got this tiny little catfish, it's gonna be fine. Don't do that with any catfish ever. Don't. Just go easy. Compared to many aquarium catfish, the striped dwarf catfish is not particularly shy, though will utilize hiding spaces if provided. They are fairly unaggressive fish, which can be kept with other peaceful fish too big to be swallowed whole, which is one of those things. It's like it's peaceful unless it fits in its mouth. Okay, got it. Striped dwarf catfish are likely to be venomous and should be handled with care. While not fatal, a sting still produces a great deal of pain, and these fish should always be handled carefully and only when necessary. So it's like, yeah, it's peaceful fish, except it'll eat all the fish, and it's poisonous if you handle it unprofessionally. So that's all kind of a thing that we could all agree on, right? The maximum size is 8 fish. Aggression is fairly low, except for when it can fit in their mouth. Temperature 71 to 82. pH 6 to 7.5 on the low end. Hardness 15, all the way down to 5.
This thing would eat every fish that I own.
Yeah, pretty much. It would pretty much eat and consume just about everything around.
And it would just harass anything that it couldn't eat, I think. I mean, I know it says it's peaceful, but man.
Yeah, big thanks to everybody for chiming in today and doing your thing over on the Discord and becoming a new member and all that kind of stuff. I accidentally closed the thing, so I have to find my mail here again. You guys will see some video in the background. The video in the background is actually from the tank today. So that is as basically as contextual as you can get, because that's literally from earlier today. That's from today. It's from me messing around in the tank today, and you guys can see I'm essentially doing some plant trimming and things of that nature. I've lost my screen, so there we go. There, now it's back. Things of that nature going on in the background. Also, just some overall shots of the aquarium, so it gives you a chance to kind of take a look and see what's going on as of today, and just give yourself an overview. Think about an aquarium for a minute. It's just a little bit peacefully in the background. We don't got that much time left here, so we're going to kind of keep rocking and rolling and moving right along.
We can answer French Toast's question here.
What's that?
He's got, he says, my pH is around 8.0, TDS around 380-ish. Currently do 1 water change a week with the current aquarium, and that drops his pH down to 7.5, and then it stays steady.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Not sure if he means that the pH out the tap is 8.0 or if that's what. Now I'm confused. I've confused myself. He says, when I'm ready to set up my planted aquarium, will I be successful with those parameters? Personally, I say yes. But it depends on everything else.
pH of 8 and TDS around 380. I wouldn't worry too much about the TDS. I would find out what the TDS is, because if you have a 380 TDS of let's see, sulfuric acid, could be a problem. Yeah, or just pure salt. Could be a problem. Could be a little bit of a problem. But as soon as you find out what your TDS is, then that's fine. I just worry about ammonia, pH, nitrite. TDS is kind of a pain, but GH and KH, that's where you need to worry. The other stuff is a long ways down the road, as far as like becoming more experienced and being like, oh yeah, I measure my TDS all the time because I use RO water and I want to match this with that and the other thing and that kind of stuff. Just worry about stable pH, right? That the tank is cycled, so you're actually going through the nitrogen cycle. You don't have ammonia in the aquarium, and then move on. Once you find out your KH and your GH, you start to kind of figure out like, okay, well, my hardness is dropping when I do this. My carbonates are doing this or doing that kind of stuff. You start to figure that stuff out as time goes on. But as long as you have a fairly stable pH, you'll be fine. As long as you have the tank cycled, you'll be fine. Now, if you have a pH of 8, it is a little bit high for a lot of plants to transition, but they probably will transition if you have a decent fertilizer in there. You have decent lights on the tank, the temperature's not completely out of whack, and you do have some stability. Now, one of the things that's kind of interesting with a planted aquarium, if you start out with a really high pH, plants in general growing and stuff like that and utilizing and using up the nutrients and things in the water will kind of bring your pH down a little bit. Yep. You can also inject some CO2, and that will artificially bring your pH down, which is fine. Don't worry about that. It's also kind of one of the cool things about having a high pH is that it is pretty buffered up and whatnot. You can add CO2 and get it down to 7, and then boom, Bob's your uncle. It's just neutral, so it's not even a problem. But those are the things that you really need to kind of focus on, especially if you're getting started. Figure out what kind of substrate you want to go with. Figuring out your substrate is almost It's almost as difficult as figuring out your lights. Those are going to be the two things that will boggle your mind. Fertilizer is pretty simple. There are a lot of good ones on the market, as you guys know. Aquarium Co-op is our affiliate sponsor, and I do use Easy Green myself. I recommend you use Easy Green because it's the easiest fertilizer on the market to utilize. It's quality. It's made in America, and it does work well. Shrimp safe, that kind of stuff. People are constantly asking me if Easy Green is shrimp safe, and it's like, do you think Corey would be able to sell as much Easy Green as he did if it just killed shrimp every time he shipped it out? So, to my knowledge, it's shrimp safe. I haven't had it kill shrimp or anything like that, so it should be fine. They do quite a bit of testing to make sure that it is safe. So, quality assurance, all that kind of stuff. But the lights and substrate are going to be the really confusing part when most people get into the hobby, because there's so many different tactics and things that you could do for your substrate. The three substrates I really like, obviously ADA, but ADA is the most expensive. Fluval Stratum's like a kind of a knockoff ADA, basically. It's cheaper, it's more affordable. I like the bigger granules that it has, and I find that it being a little more affordable means I could probably buy some extra bags, and then I got some extra substrate to do some extra stuff. So that's pretty important to me, and has been pretty stable and buffered my stuff down in the nutrients, and it's a great way to start a tank, so I do that. There are some cheaper ones out there that are all kind of in the volcanic rock kind of area. The thing is that, a lot of the volcanic stuff is all about the same. So if you talk about EcoComplete, if you talk about, fluorite, all that kind of stuff, it's all basically the same crushed volcanic things, unless you're really breaking into the sand or the red variety. The red variety is quite helpful. It does a good job of maintaining a good root base for iron supplementation to your plants. Now, it's not gonna blow up your water column with tons of iron and all of a sudden make your plants all red. It's just gonna allow chelated iron to be available for plants to be grabbing if they really need. Whew, rant over.
But a very informative rant.
I didn't get to the lights, did I? The lights I like to use right now is the Fluval 3.0. It just really is the best light on the market for the price. It might not be the best light on the market, period, but it is the best light, bang for the buck, on the market. And yes, they aren't cheap, but there are a ton of lights that are more expensive that do less. There are a ton of lights that are like 5 times more expensive and maybe do the same. That maybe do the same. How about that?
I have personally spent so much money on cheap lights, and I have spent so much money on expensive lights that should have been good but weren't. And now I have a whole lot of Fluval 3.0.
Well, that's kind of the thing, It's like I talked with Kessel, one of the Kessel reps, and I was like, "Do you want to send out a light?" And luckily, like when I talked to the Kessel rep, he's one of the higher up guys, and like he's one of those people that was actually in the penthouse with Oliver Knott, myself, Chris Lukup, Corey from Aquarium Co-op, and a couple other people, and that's basically the only people that were up there in this like penthouse in Vegas. And he's like, I saw him at a convention a while ago, and I was like, Kessel has a new light, and I'm like, do you want me to test it out? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, you have my email? He's like, yes. And then never really heard from him. So, and the thing is, like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm beyond the point where I want to spend $500, $600 to test out a light and see if it's any good. Because even just the warranty return, I ordered some work gloves the other day, and Amazon sent me a book instead.
Oh.
And it's still sitting up on the counter up there because I have not had time to even return it.
What's the book?
Something about a cabin. Oh, I don't know. I mean, I could show the book to you.
Yeah. I don't know. I just always get curious about those kinds of things.
I ordered work gloves, and they sent me a book instead. I'm like, dude, really?
Well, can't you just like
These guys make $1
put
trillion.
it on your hand and just kind of
Scratch around at the ground. These guys make $1 trillion and they send me a book. What is this?
Yeah.
They didn't even pay any taxes. But by the way, anybody that's mad that Amazon doesn't pay any taxes, start your own business. Spend the $80 to $100. Go get yourself a business license. Start your own business, and you'll have a ton of tax write-offs. So you spend stuff on your business. That's what happens. That's how they do that.
It's true, actually.
That's a big part of how they do that. Maybe not Amazon specifically, but that's how a lot of companies do that. Especially with the like stock option sharing and stuff like that. You know, like when they pay their stock options to people that work there, they consider that a business expense.
Oh yeah, it's a total.
Like, what?
Yeah. Geez, you put any sort of money into retirement at all, and it's a write-off.
Right. French Show says, thank you, Joel. Your explanation definitely gives me more confidence to move forward with my Planet Aquarium. Alyssa, thank you so much for looking out for my question. Right on, right on. Deborah Sanders says, I have gravel. I use Easy Green and root tabs. Plants growing very well. Light is one that came with my 29. Yeah, sometimes you can utilize the light that just came with your setup, you know. That's always a good time. For years I was doing desk lamps, build your own LED, buying parts, landscape LEDs, aquaponics lights, weed growing lights, all sorts of lights I was using. I've used high pressure sodium. I've used halogens. I've used, go down the list, T5s, T12s, T8s.
Honestly, though, the one thing that really helped my plant game
I have no idea what is going on with this video in the background. Is doing the weirdest stuff.
Is before I had the flu ball things, was getting a light timer.
Oh, getting a light timer?
Yeah, like
you better get a light timer.
Man, it makes such a difference.
Where did that?
So crazy.
Yeah, explain it.
So what I used to do is I would get up and then I would turn the lights on. Get up out of bed, turn the lights on, and then they would just be on all day and at full intensity. And then I would come home, at some point and decide maybe it was time to turn the lights off, which could be at 2 a.m. or it could be like 8 p.m. And strangely, the plants seem to think, I don't understand what's going on with the sun, you guys.
Right.
The sun is messed up.
To be wicked honest with you guys, so like a standard issue timer costs about $7, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere in that range, $7, $8, $9 sometimes. Here's a link right here to some TP-Link smart Wi-Fi plugs mini. There's 3 of them. They're like $12 a piece. Yes, they're a little bit more expensive, but they run off of Wi-Fi. They'll last a long time. They work pretty good. I even installed some at the Aquarium Co-op warehouse, and they are working for light timers. They work with the 3.0s if you want to use those as a light timer instead, because maybe you have some manual lights. I know a lot of people out there still have just manual lights. So maybe you have some of those and you need to have a timer. Don't go out and get the garden spin around kind ones or anything like that. Don't waste your money on that because you're going to realize like a couple years down the road, like, oh man, I should have got those Wi-Fi timers because they're like just way easier to use and they work fine. But it is 4:40 and I don't see too many questions in the chat. We have 65 people. Man, it is summertime. People are out partying instead of being on the internet. So, hey, I appreciate everybody that actually came out today. I like that. Yeah. There's fewer of you, so extra kudos for y'all coming out. Be sure to hit the like button. We do have a new member, Anna Lee, becoming a new member during the show. I forget where our super chats went. Let's see. Lucas Kaplan, Tyler Clinkscales, and the Fish Tank Barn with the super chats today. So thank you very much, you guys. And then we did have a brand new patronizer today, and Jeanette. And anybody who's become a member, anybody who's become onto Patreon, Be sure to check out the Discord because we're always over there chatting. Not only me, but
I'm there like all the time.
Alyssa's there. Where did my Discord go? I had a Discord open. There it is. Let's see. Bentley Pascal is there. And Jeanette actually joined up the Discord. Cool. Look at that. Alana Suki's there. Creedmoor. Jim Smith is there. Getface. Michael Moncour, Pugman, Rob the Butcher, and then there's a big long list. But, we got a lot of people over there, and I am going to boost the Discord channel there once we get to 100 people. So we're just shy at 78 now. So we're getting closer. Getting closer to 100. So then I'm going to have to pay to boost the server, and then we're going to have to find another person to boost the server, because to get to the next level you got to get to 2. You got to have 2 people boost the server, or I'll just that's how it goes.
Okay.
And Mark Balkwell showing up to the chat saying go Cardinals. I mean, I'm not saying don't go Cardinals, but come on now. Seahawks, bro. Right? We're both Seahawks fans here. Alyssa is a diehard Seahawks fan, and she will karate chop
That's right.
anybody that's around. Hey, no.
If you see one of
I
them
wish I
vehicles running around with all the like Seahawks
I'm a-
stickers all over it, that's totally me.
I'm a big sports fan as far as football goes, American football. And I very much appreciate the sport. I like it a lot. One of the funny things about it is I'm not all that aggressive, other than when a person on another team is personally kind of a D-bag, like Ben Roethlisberger. Like, I'm sorry, I don't think you get brought up on potential rape charges 3 times and not have something weird and creepy going on. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It seems a little odd.
It's not someone I would want to go and hang out with.
Me neither.
Mm-hmm.
But just, I get kind of irritated at personal stuff. But hopefully the Cardinals and Seahawks have a great competitive season this year, and they're always fun games. Especially, I don't know if Larry Fitzgerald, did he retire? I think he did. I think Larry. Let's see, Fitzgerald, did he retire or was he like holding out? Let's see, Larry Fitzgerald. Let's see, did he retire or anything? I don't know. That's going to be very difficult to look this up, I'm realizing right now. Larry Fitzgerald plays in Cardinals preseason opener. Okay, so he is he's actually playing this year. I thought maybe he was just considering retiring or something like that. So I haven't been watching the preseason yet. I don't watch it until we get a little bit further into the preseason. I can't do the super early stuff. It's too much to deal with, to be honest. Okay, so there's that. I want to thank Alyssa for coming out today, and we got a super chat right at the end from Jacob White, $5 super chat. Thanks, brother. Sunwise asking, how big is the biggest coffee folia you've ever seen? Pretty darn big. I think I saw one that went round and round and round and round and round at a tank at one point in time, so it was probably 20 feet long in a big tank. They'll just keep going. Baby pick in the top right. Love it. Oh, thanks, Flip. Thanks for coming out today, everybody. We will talk to you on the other side. Alyssa will be back in 2 weeks unless you guys super chat $100 million, and then I'll make her come back next week. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right.